It'll be Ross Robinson. He's in the blue and white number 7. He's out of Georgetown, Delaware for Dutch Star Motorsports. And Drake Troutman currently leading the O'Reilly Auto Parts Rookie of the Year chase. He is out of Heinemann, PA in the DTR Motorsports 7.
Last night's runner-up, Brandon Shepard. He is out of New Berlin, Illinois, and starts 13th in the Shepard Riggs Racing B5. And on his outside, out of Centerville, Pennsylvania, the defending O'Reilly Auto Parts Rookie of the Year, Max Blair, in 111.
The defending Lucas Oil champion goes inside row A to be Hudson O'Neal, the SSI Motorsports car. He's out of Martinsville, Indiana. And Rick Boom Briggs, the 99B, the Dave Warren Power Sports entry, out of Bearley, Pennsylvania.
The Winfield Warrior, Mike Marlar, has that Greg Bruning Skyline Motorsports 157 on the inside of row 9. And he'll be flanked by the Jupiter, Florida driver of the number 6, that is Clay Harris.
Row 10, it'll be Carson Ferguson. He's in the Paler Motorsports 93 out of Lincoln, North Carolina. And Kurt Schroeder, the veteran driver of the 15C, he hails out of Newton, Iowa.
Tyler Erb, he's from New Waverly, Texas, and he's got a pretty tough row to hoe because he has to come all the way from the 21st starting spot. And on his outside, a winner at the Casino Speedway back in June out of Watertown, South Dakota, the veteran Scott Ward in 37.
Row 12 on the inside. How about Jonathan Davenport, currently second in the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series points out of Blairsville, Georgia. The Double O Motorsports 49 fires from 23rd. And Ben Sukup in the sports car out of Norfolk, Nebraska in the 07 will start alongside.
And your final two starters, Junior Coover out of Norfolk, Nebraska in the 10, Corey Lawler, who did not run a heat race in the 93. And that'll give us our 26-car starting field. James, I see they're still actually down there working on Jonathan's there they go. And we're still doing a little bit of work on the Lance Landers 49 and Jonathan Davenport before he made his way to the staging lane. So
combined points from last night and tonight. So Davenport got a little work to do here. Again, the top 16 will be locked in after tonight for tomorrow night's Silver Dollar National.
And don't forget as well, James, that Davenport had trouble in his heat race. Remember, he pulled off in his heat race, so something was amiss on that entry, and he is. I don't know if he is late to staging or not. We'll check with Lucas Oil Series officials on that. He was supposed to start in the 12th row anyway, so if so, he would only go back one row. But they are still, there he is. He's going to wait for the rest of the field to make their way out on the track.
So Garrett Alverson involved in the heat race brush last night. A tangle there with Erb and Marlar. Can he make it up all tonight? He's on the outside of the front row in the Roberts Racing 58 Blair Nodorf. This man, they would love this, and we would love that too. You never know. We don't play favorites. We'd love to see everybody run well. I just want to see a really good race here tonight.
Well, two of the first three starters have never won a Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series feature before. Ben Shelton, as we mentioned, is going to give us all the action from the infield in the Heartbeat Hot Sauce Hot Pit. Ben, who will you be talking to in Lucas Oil Victory Lane at the end of 40 laps?
Well, guys, in 873 Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series events, there's been 91 different winners. If Garrett Alverson wins tonight, he'll be 92. It's not going to be tonight. Bobby Pierce from the Victory Fuel pole. He's going to be too tough, too much. He gets win number 19 all-time with the Lucas Oil Series here tonight.
Oh, boy. Garrett, Danny, sorry about that. But Bob and Angie, I'm going to be happy that Bobby was the pick. He was last night's winner. James, I know you like picking the underdog, brother. I know you like seeing first-time winners. Who you got?
Well, I'm interested also in these Flyboy donuts that we have that Sean's been pushing.
I think Ben had one of those this morning, by the way, and said it was pretty good.
Flyboy donuts? How were they? Were they good?
Yeah. Highly recommended. You know what? Flyboy donuts for the win tonight, because I'm going to have them again in the morning. So
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Hey, don't forget, we'll have our pre-race show tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Blair Nodorf.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Boy, the suspense was killing me.
Blair Nodorf here tonight. Gets it done. Shucks. All right.
There you go.
Who have you picked?
I have not picked anyone yet. I'm a man of the people. I give you guys the first couple picks. I'm going to go with that guy on your screen. I'm going to go with a different first-time winner. Tonight's the night. Tonight is the night Garrett Alverson gets it done in 58. And I'm an emotional dude anyway, man. We become friends with just about all of these drivers and teams and their families. And if that happens, there will be tears shed maybe by the announcers in this one. Producer Tiffany says Devin Moran is going to get the win from that 5th starting spot in the 99, and we're about to find out who's right and who is wrong, because the Brandon Ford pace truck has made the hard left-hand turn to the infield. 26 cars, 40 laps, a $10,000 payday on the line, and at 8:57 local time, they go green in the new Great Ag Solutions starting zone.
Pierce will jump to lead in turn number 2. Swings out wide. Here comes Alberson. How about Tim McCready? Nobody picked Tim McCready. Can he come through with his first win for Rocket Run? He'll run second as Pierce leads lap 1.
Bobby Pierce out front. McCready has that 2nd spot. That bottom still just a little fast right now while they get the cushion built back up on the high side of the speedway. And now they will cross spots in 2nd and 3rd. McCready goes high. Alberson goes low. Pierce still your leader at the end of lap 2.
McCready up top trying to get that momentum out of turn number 2. 4 car lengths back down the back straightaway. He dives down to the bottom, so is Alberson. 4th runs Wilson, 5th Moranis. Pierce still leads in Huset with 3 in the books.
Bobby Pierce led all 40 laps last night. That's what the box score will show, but it won't show exactly how tough it was last night. It only took him about 7 laps to reach the back of the field, and the pace they're setting this evening, I would say it's going to be awfully close to that once again, as Bobby Pierce has stretched out to a 1-second advantage, and he is now on the same straightaway as the back of the field as BP32 comes around to complete lap number 5.
Yeah, he stretches it out right now. The advantage 1.248 seconds down the back straightaway. Half a straightaway behind Junior Cooper. Started tonight in 26th off of turn number 4 down the main straightaway. The driver out of Oakwood, Illinois, his dad Bob Pierce, the Hall of Famer, the crew chief on that car. 6 down, 34 here to go tonight as they go into traffic into turn 3.
James, I want to send an early shout out to the 17 double S right there, Brendan Smith. He's currently in the 6th spot. I know it's early in the race, but that is an outstanding run early in the going for that driver as the Kohler Motorsports 20s go at it. That's Ricky Thornton Jr. on the inside in the white and black 20, the black and orange 20. That's Jimmy Owens on the high side. 8 laps now in the books. Bobby Pierce has caught the back of the field. Cooper and Ward both a lap down.
McCready will have to work the outside of Junior Cooper. Oh, into the wall hard, and that's Jimmy Owens, and he almost went over. And that'll be a Dave Warren Power Sports caution. And Jimmy Owens into the wall in car number 20 while running in 11th, Dustin.
Yeah, and Drake Troutman had nowhere to go and got into him as well. That's actually what put that 20 up on the wall. Ben, he and the one of Tyler Erb make their way to the Heartbeat Hot Sauce Hot Pit.
Yeah, Jimmy Owens down in 3 and 4. I got to wonder if something was going awry on that race car. Is he got almost into the wall in 3 and 4. 1 and 2 he did, and they're going to go to work on the left rear quarter panel, the Kohler Motorsports number 20. He's down here. Tyler Erb, meanwhile, they've got the hood off the Best Performance Motorsports number 1. He shut it down. He'll fire it back up, and they're taking a look at it right now. We'll try to get an update, guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Ben. We'll go ahead and take a look at the Flow Racing instant replay and see what happened. It looks like Owens maybe got a little high down there in 3 and 4. And as he went off into 1 and 2, he got too high, made hard contact with the wall, and Troutman had nowhere to go and helped him up on the wall down in turns 1 and 2. 8 laps down, 32 laps remaining. In tonight's 40-lap main event, Bobby Pierce, Tim McCready, Garrett Alberson, Dalton Wilson, Devin Moran, your top 5. Brendan Smith 6th, then Nodorf, Simpson, Thornton, and Robinson, Ben.
And guys, Tyler Erb felt like the engine was missing just a little bit. They pulled in, though. Everything looks good, so he's going to pull back out. I was talking to Blake Kearns down here. He said everything looks fine on it, but it was definitely popping a little bit the last time by.
Yeah, great job by the Kohler Motorsports. The 20 Owens back out just a little bit. Looks a whole lot better than a second ago, right? Here comes Tyler Erb back out. The Best Performance 1 as Troutman got a little work down there. Man, that looked like a hard hit by Troutman, and it was, but doesn't look too bad there, DJ.
No, it does not.
So he did not stop, or did he? He did not stop.
No, he did not stop. Yeah,
he
did not stop.
Yeah. 11th, Dustin. So 8 in the books. It's Pierce, McCready, Alberson, Wilson, Moran, your top 5. And you again a shout out Brandon Smith 6, Nodor, Simpson, Thornton, Robinson, as we'll have to do Delaware double file restart. Who is our early contender for the Dodge Steel Buildings Hard Charger?
Mike Marlar. Worth noting, Marlar dropped to the back of the field, James, and started 26 because he did go to a backup car. So Marlar started 26th. He's up 6 spots in 8 laps here early in the going in that Greg Bruning owned number 157. The yellow lights are being turned off, Ben.
And don't forget, last night he dropped to the back of the field. They made suspension adjustments after the field took to the track. So back-to-back nights, Marlar said to come from the back.
And we're still under caution flag here. So Pierce has led the first 8 laps. Again, the 1.472 seconds wiped down. McCready off to a good start in this race. McCready started 4th, up to 2nd right now. And again, Alberson, Wilson, Moran, your top 5. So all lapped cars go to the back. Right now, 24 cars still on the lead lap. Junior Coover, Scott Ward, I believe he is out of the race.
No, he's still out there.
He's still out there, my bad. So 26 cars are still out there as Bobby Pierce will lead him to the Nutrient Ag Solutions restart zone. 8 down, 32 to go at Huset's on a Friday night.
Yeah, Cooper, the only car 1 lap down, James, as we go back to green flag racing. And Rocket 1 tosses it way high, and we have got trouble coming off turn number 4, and I believe it's Drake Troutman. Oh, man, Ben.
Yeah, guys, he went up in a big plume of smoke, a little bit of a fire under the hood of that 7 car, and he shuts it down. And you got to wonder if it goes back to last night as he is climbing out of that race car. It's got hot in there. Now the race car's rolling away. If you remember last night, they had an oil line come loose off the back of the block, and you got to wonder if this is something tied to it as they're trying to keep that car from rolling down to the inside. But it got very hot in there, and you got to suspect some engine issues on the 7, maybe tied to last night's oil line issue.
Doggone it. That, man, it's been a tough go for Troutman here the last few months. Thought maybe he was turning the corner, you know, you said last night, of course.
Taking over the Rookie of the Year point standings from Clay Harris.
He's had to battle each night. He's had to battle issues, and he's come out behind the 8 ball. And unfortunately, Lady Luck dealing the 19-year-old a bad hand here this evening, and his night is going to come to a premature end with just 8 laps complete in tonight's 40-lap main event. You saw the safety crews down there, Johnny, on the spot, both not just the Lucas Oil crews, but a tip of the hat to the Huset Speedway crews as well. You know, I've been to Huset's a dozen times, and the folks at Huset's, their safety crews, their teams, just some of the best of any racetrack in the entire country. Is the drone providing a great shot there of that 7 car of Drake Troutman. I see Ben. Ben, I saw you down there leaning your head in and talking to him. Did you find anything out, Ben?
Yeah, he said, man, it's not been a good weekend for oil lines for him so far. He said when he got into Owens, he thinks it knocks the oil line off the 7. A little bit of a fire. They got it out. And DJ, Tiffany, we might have a good chance to thank some marketing partners because the Huset Speedway fire truck, their extinguisher, one of those hung open for just a second, so they got to dry some fluid up on the front straightaway.
All right, thanks a lot, Ben. Before we do that, we'll go ahead and take a look at the Flow Racing Instant Replay and see exactly what put us under this second Dave Warren Power Sports caution as they were getting ready to go back to green, James, coming off turn 4, and there it is.
Got on the gas and that, yeah. Now let's hope it is just an oil line and not anything else. So Troutman, who was running in 13th.
All right, well,
he's in the Heartbeat Hot Sauce Hot Pit out of this one.
Yeah, and we will step aside here for just a brief moment as they get this accident cleaned up. 8 in the books, 32 remaining in the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series A main in the Friday portion of the 14th Silver Dollar Nationals, presented by My Race Pass.
Welcome back to Huset Speedway, the 14th annual Silver Dollar Nationals presented by My Race Pass. And Drake, it's been a week for oil lines so far. What happened when you got into Owens when he slowed in front of you?
Once I got into Owens up there, it knocked all the deck panels into the oil lines and it cut one down. So, I don't know, it sucks, but we'll get it fixed up and go get tomorrow.
You guys have been digging hard the past few weeks. Do you feel like at some point the monkey is going to get off your back?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just part of it, part of the growing pains. So, like I said, we'll get it fixed up and go tomorrow.
Guys, Drake Troutman out of the party tonight. He'll try it again tomorrow.
All right, Ben, good job down there. Thank you.
Awesome.
Eight laps down, 32 laps remaining in tonight's A main as the yellow lights have been turned off. Green flag going to wave this time in the Nutrien Ag Solutions restart zone. Bobby Pierce brings the field Delaware double file back to the green.
Out for turn number 4. Pierce lead him into 1. Battle for second. And that's Alberson on the Delaware double file restart. Still a long way to go. 32 in the books down the back straightaway. Battle for second into turn 3. That is McCready up top. Alberson down low. Here comes Moran, and here comes the 18D of Wilson. Has slipped up just a little bit. And we got a 4-car melee in turn 4. And the Dave Warren Power Sports caution is out. Kurt Schroeder, Scott Ward, Corey Lawler, and is that Mikey Marler? Oh,
yeah.
man.
Boy, another one that's had a tough go of it here over the course of the past few races. Is the bad news is that we only got one more lap in the books. The worst news is four likable drivers caught up in this latest Dave Warren Power Sports caution flag. Again, 9 laps now scored, 31 laps remaining. Is Corey Lawler going to try to make his way to the Heartbeat Hot Sauce Hot Pit area? Mike Marler looks like he is trying to unstrap the helmet and climb out of the 157. Scott Ward, the last entrant here this evening in the 37, also involved, and Kurt Schroeder has the 15C pointed in the wrong direction down in turns 3 and 4.
I don't know who's had a worse hard luck week than Troutman or Marler, right? Both of them. Man, oh man, oh man, as Mikey unbuckles in the Bruning Motorsports 157. Again, he was rolling up through there, and we've got a drone shot. Ian Maui doing his usual great job, DJ. Here we go.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have one instant replay from the drone, so you have to keep your eyes on it. Way there at the opposite end of the racetrack. As you just saw, it looks like Schroeder maybe came around and the rest of the field with nowhere to go. And that's what put us under this latest Dave Warren Power Sports caution, the third one of the race. Again, 9 laps scored, 31 laps remaining in this 40-lap, $10,000 to win A main.
We did get a lap in, so 9 in the books. It'll still be Pierce, McCready, Alberson, Wilson, Moran. Nodorf is now 6. Brendan Smith is 7. Thornton, Chad Simpson 9th. And Brandon Shepard runs in 10th. Last night's runner-up and the defending Silver Dollar Nationals winner. So we'll see.
And Mikey Marler was the early Todd Steele Buildings hard charger candidate in the 157, and unfortunately he's got a flat left rear and some other damage, as you see the Winfield, Tennessee driver, former World of Outlaws champion, climbing out of his race car. And it looks like that will unfortunately end his night. They get the field stopped. Not a red flag, still a caution. They've stopped the field on the back straightaway so they can get the accident site cleaned up.
Scott Ward into the Heartbeat Hot Sauce Hot Pit, the Watertown, South Dakota veteran. So again, Coover is out. Troutman is out. Looks like, see what Ward, they're working on the 37 car, Ben. Not sure his status, Ben Shelton.
Yeah, we've got, we're accumulating some race cars down here. Corey Lawler's down here with his dad Poncho taking a look at that race car. Scott Ward out of the race, out of the car, going to call it a night. And talking to the Marler camp, they just, they went to a backup car tonight. They weren't real pleased with the way the other one was handling. Tried to do something different for this feature, and just wrong place at the wrong time. And just, man, tough run right now for Mike Marler, as you guys talked about.
No, a great shot there of the drone. From the drone of Mike Marler.
You talk about all these crews, and we see it week in and week out. I mean, everybody's working their tails off, and you know you had Monday night. Mikey Marler got into on that melee we had a little bit in turn 4, sheared the hood pins off of the car, so they couldn't put the hood back on there, and they weren't going to run it without the hood, obviously, and could have damage to the engine there. They suck in all that dirt, right? I mean, you had nothing to take care of that. So
see Poncho Lawler there, working on the air cleaner, trying to get the air cleaner off, it looks like, of son Corey's number 93, as he's in the Heartbeat Hot Sauce Hot Pit area. Kurt Schroeder's made his way back out. Scott Ward is still in the hot pit as well.
Yeah, not only the work that they do at the track, but obviously during the week, Ben Shelton.
Yeah, Scott Ward out of the party tonight. Pancho Lawler, Corey's dad, put the breather back on the 93 car. I think it got knocked loose. He's going to make his way back out. Man, I tell you what, with only 9 laps down, there's been some attrition so far in this one. Hopefully we get a long green flag run. And you hate to see so many great race cars getting torn up and just part of the game some night.
Absolutely, especially with one more night of action and a $50,000 payday on the line, as Corey Lawler will make his way back out and tag the tail of the field. And that Poncho's Race Products driving number 93. So the yellow lights will be turned off this time, James. And we'll see if we can string together some green flag laps in this one. Pierce, McCready, Alberson, Wilson, Moran, your top 5. Nodorf, Smith, Thornton, Simpson, Shepard, the top 10. 9 scored, 31 to go in tonight's main event.
Well, McCready's been running the top. He picks the bottom on Garrett Alberson down the main straightaway, back underway at the Nutrien Solutions restart zone. 31 to go here. Again, it's still over double file restarts. Till 10 or less laps to go tonight as they go into turn 3. Or 5 or less laps to go, right?
Yes, 5 or less.
Off in turn 4. Pierce still leads. Dalton Wilson to go to third in the round of 18D.
Wilson rounded out the Big River Steel podium last night, trying to work his way up there again this evening. Is Alberson going to fall back to fourth momentarily, trying to tiptoe around the top of this high-banked oval? Bobby Pierce, though, immediately stretches out his advantage in this with nearly 1 full second. That 32 is really, really good on restarts.
St. Dalton Wilson's been good ever since we went to 34 last Thursday night. As they come off in turn 4, J.C. Crockett turning the wrenches on the 18D. Right now in third behind McCready as he'll make a run down the back straightaway. Alberson and Moran go side by side into turn 3.
And they're flip-flopped from where they were in the heat race. It was Alberson on the inside, Moran on the outside for 8 straight laps in their heat race a little earlier on this evening. Now it's Alberson on the outside, Moran on the inside. Coming around this time to complete 14 laps. Bobby Pierce, that lead got out to 1 full second. He's not been able to get any more of an advantage over Tim McCready and Dalton Wilson in this one, and that lead could evaporate here in about 3 laps whenever he reaches the back of the field. Now both Pierce and Rocket 1 go high in 3 and 4.
Did I say Junior Cooper was out of the race? He's not. He's still out there, right? He's running 23rd right now. Troutman, Ward, and Marlar are still on there. We got to turn around at turn 4, and it's Kurt Schroeder in the 15C, and the Dave Warren Power Sports caution is out. Be sure to check DaveWarrenSegway.com. Get on there, register, and win that UT10E side-by-side that will give away the Eldora Speedway, valued at $14,000. DaveWarrenSegway.com as Kurt Schroeder, the new Iowa, up on the berm, DJ, in turn 4.
I wonder if that thing's bottomed out there the way it's up on the, because again, that's a very high berm there on the racetrack. They're going to take a look at it and see if they can get him off. But and actually, the damage it may be worse than that. They're taking the hood off the 15C.
Yeah, and I talked to Bobby Pierce about that berm, and he said last year, I think it's actually a little bit taller this year than last year. He said last year you could cheat up on that berm a little bit, but he said now if you try to get your nose up there, it's going to snap the car around. And without seeing what happened, you got to wonder if that's what happened to Kurt Schroeder, a little bit of damage on the nose. And you got to wonder if that berm, if it dug in and pulled that 15 car around to draw this Dave Warren Power Sports caution.
The berm giveth, and the berm taketh away.
Bobby Pierce has led all the way so far as McCready right now in second. Dalton Wilson up to third. Garrett Alberson, Devin Moran fifth. Thornton is up to sixth in the 20RT as he started in 10th. And then Nodorf, Brendan Smith, shout out to him, still in the top 10 and 8th. Brandon Shepard, Chad Simpson runs in 10th. Ross Robinson 11th. Max Blair runs 12th, DJ.
Jonathan Davenport from 22nd to 15th is the early candidate for the Todd Steel Building's hard charger of the race. Bobby Pierce, meanwhile, led all 40 laps last night. He's led all 15 here this evening. He's led 55 consecutive laps this weekend here at the Huset Speedway.
Well, one thing about it for Marlar and Troutman, that they're out of the race, but it's not for championship points tonight. Now, for tomorrow night, of course, the top 16 after tonight will be locked in for tomorrow night's 14th Annual Silver Dollar Nationals presented by My Race Pass. So, again, Pierce has led from the start. So he has led, 55 consecutive laps here the last 2 nights.
Yep, he sure has. As you mentioned, top 16 from the cumulative points from last night and tonight locked in. The driver's 17th on back. They'll run a qualifier to see how they start position 17 on back in the 80-lap main event here tomorrow. Of course, 80 laps is what it was tonight. Other than the one that 1 year that Chad Simpson, you talked about it last night.
Yeah, he led the lap 87 and it's like...
It's 101 laps that year, right?
101 laps, yes, we did. 1 year.
So that was the only year. It's been 80 ever since. Of course, in honor of I-80 Speedway, where this event was founded 13 years ago. So the field has taken shape once again in this Delaware double file restart. Your second place car, McCready. I feel like that he has chosen the opposite lane every other restart. He's been on the top, he's been on the bottom, he was on the top, now he's back on the bottom again. That'll put Dalton Wilson on the high side when they go back to green flag racing this time by.
Remember, Dalton Wilson would go back to 34 last week, and then earlier this week, he is, like I said, he has really turned up the wick here. He's got a fast hot rod. This thing's not over yet. 15 down, still 25 to go at the Nutrien Ag Solutions restart zone. And a Friday night at Huset, says Bobby Pierce will lead him out of turn 4, Dustin.
Pierce with the advantage. Again, he's been really good on these restarts. That lead seems to get to about 1 to 1.2 seconds, kind of plateaus off. Dalton Wilson, who had been running the bottom, now trying to get the good run on the high side and bring Devin Moran with him. Still Rocket 1 in second, that time by the stripe, James.
Dalton Wilson's got a good hot rod right now. McCready in the second. Here comes Devin Moran. Here comes Almerson as they switch now. Dalton Wilson to the bottom. McCready up top. Bobby Pierce still leads. Last time it was 7/10 of a second. Into turn number 1, he grows to 8/10 of a second. As Wilson now trying to not yield the third spot to Devin Moran. And Devin Moran coming on. And the Dave Warren Power Sports caution is out for Ross Robinson in car 7 here on the front straightaway, Dustin.
Robinson was very slow near the end of the front straightaway. 17 laps scored, 23 laps remaining. And he, the Georgetown, Delaware driver, will make the hard left-hand turn into the Heartbeat Hot Sauce Hot Pit and come to the attention of his wife, Amanda Robinson, and crew.
And they're going to go to work. They're actually going to wait and get a word with him. They look at the right front of this number 7, the Stokely Materials entry, and that's exactly where they're going to go to work, is on the right front. Ross Robinson, strong start to the night, but right now finds himself in the Heartbeat Hot Sauce Hot Pit. Also maybe a suspension adjustment as they're going to turn the wheel, take a look to make sure nothing's damaged on the right front of this 7.
I see members of Brendan Smith's team down there. I see Austin Hemman from the Bobby Pierce crew down there taking a look at things as well, seeing what they can do. I see Joel Rogers from Rocket 1 down there helping the Ross Robinson team. And not sure, he may have got, I was just going to say Hudson O'Neal, Ben. Hudson O'Neal's got a little bit of damage on the left front of his race car as well.
Yeah, and it was interesting because Joel Rogers from Rocket 1 looked under the left front and looked up at Ross Robinson and had thumbs up, and Ross kind of shook his head back and forth like, man, I swear there's something wrong with it, but perhaps not, as he'll make his way back out.
Hey, Ben, Jimmy Owens has been in the hot pit twice, right?
Yeah,
I thought maybe he had knocked the deck out of it. He's back to 15th right now, and we still have, 23 laps to go.
Yeah, and he had a much better start to the night tonight than he did last night, and he's had everybody, including Kirk and the gang down here, and Turbo and Rambo from the dogs from the pit crew working on it. They've been working hard, but man, Owens getting that win at East Bay back and during Speed Weeks, you really thought, is this going to be a big year for him? And the past few months have just been a little bit of a struggle for the 20 car.
You talked about Rambo. Hey, we want to send our best wishes to Dennis Rambo.
Reading my mind.
Yeah, and down there in Gaffney, South Carolina, and on his health issues. And I know they had some decals gathered for all the drivers here this weekend in Houston that was shipped out. But Rambo, if you're watching, thoughts and prayers to you, brother. Let's get the 2 back out on the racetrack, but more importantly, get your health back.
No, absolutely. Yep. As he was diagnosed with an early form, I believe, a non-alcoholic cirrhosis. That obviously not good, but none of the no cancer, which is good. So Rambo, if you were watching, or Bebo, if you're there watching as well, certainly want to send the prayers out to you, brother. 17 laps in the books in this one, James. We've got 23 laps to go, and we're back underway in the Nutrien Ag Solutions restart zone.
This time Wilson trying the outside. He has not gotten a second yet. He might this time around. Can he make it stick? No, McCready still has it. Moran on the bottom, he's 4th. 5th is Alverson, 6th is Thornton. Off at turn 4. Pierce has still led every lap here tonight. 18 in the books. They're side by side for second into turn 1.
I don't know if you're like me, man. The race fan in me just kind of waits for these guys to get to lap traffic here as well. It's good racing throughout the fields. You see the cars fan out. They're side by side, but you got to think, much like last night, when they finally catch that tail end of the field, man, things could really get dicey up front.
The track is good. I mean, last night it was hammered down on the top as they come out of turn 4, halfway, 20 down and 20 go. And Dalton Wilson has finally cleared McCready. So the big perm goes to second. Down the back straightaway, McCready third, Moran, Thornton, Alverson, Nodort, Brandon Smith, Shepard, Chad Simpson, your top 10. Bobby Pierce continues to lead, 21 scored.
Dalton Wilson not letting Bobby Pierce get out of the crosshairs. 9/10 of a second has been the advantage for the 32 car the last couple laps. Ross Robinson just slowed coming off turn number 4 again. He gets it back under him, but I think there's more issues on that 7 car. He's going to make the hard left turn to the infield. He's out of the party.
Bobby Pierce still leads. They pick up the tail in the field. The 10 of Junior Coover and the 15 CM Kurt Schroeder, who's back out of the track. Pierce to the outside. Here comes Dalton Wilson. It's 1 second, the advantage for the 32 down the back straightaway. The Vic Hill powered Longhorn. Here comes Wilson off at turn 4. Moran trying to make the top work. Definitely 2 distinct grooves here tonight at Huset, and into turn number 1. And Moran will take the 3rd spot from McCready, Dustin.
Yeah, McCready trapped behind the 10 of Junior Cooper, trying to work by him. He'll now go to the outside. And there's Ricky Thornton Jr. from the 10th starting spot up to 5th, and now battling for 4th, James, with the Rocket 1 of Tim McCready. 1.2, still the advantage for Bobby Pierce.
Bobby Pierce off at turn 4, the last car on the lead lap. In front of them is the 07 of Ben Sukup in the Sports car, runs in 20th. Lawler in 19th. In front of him, Bobby Pierce to the outside. Meanwhile, Moran has a beat on Wilson into turn 3. 18D and 99. Off at turn 4, trying to catch the 32 with 27 complete here tonight.
Just 13 to go. Bobby Pierce's lead now 1.6 seconds, and Moran almost cleared Dalton Wilson back there in the battle for second. They may have made a little bit of contact. Tim McCready right there as well. They go 3 wide off the corner.
Oh, man, don't through the middle. Might have heated up the big perm a little bit there, DJ. He's got to get around Sukup. Moran to the outside of him. Meanwhile, Pierce is getting away. It's up to 2 seconds as we got a car slowing. Junior Cooper calls it a night in car 10.
Big perm's going to be the big throw. Here pretty soon if things keep heating up. 1.9 seconds, the advantage for Bobby Pierce coming around this time at 10 laps to go. Devin Moran now in sole possession of that second spot, trying to reel in your race leader, but the 32 car is just too good right now.
Right now, Blair Nordorf back in 7th. How about Brandon Smith? A shout out to him again. They run in 8th, Simpson 9th. 10th is Brandon Shepard.
Yes.
As Pierce still leads, 9 laps to go. Here at Huset, still 1.8 seconds.
1.8, yeah, Devin Moran was able to take a 10th off of it that time, but he's going to have to gain more than that lap because there's just 8 remaining in this one, and he does. Devin Moran able to gain another 10th that time, but again, 10th a lap is not going to get it done here at Huset's night. 7 laps to go this time by Pierce, Moran, Wilson, still the top 3.
Keith Thornton Jr. up to 5th of the 20-yard tee for Kohler Motorsports. Bobby Pierce down the back straightaway. And Pierce into the wall, and Bobby Pierce slow getting off the berm, and here comes Moran. Wow, what a turn of events. That lead is down to 7/10 of a second. Pierce stumbled in turn number 4, Dustin.
Yeah, Devin Moran was able to gain well over a second back. Bobby Pierce's lead was up over 2 seconds. It was 7/10 the last time by. This time by 8/10 of a second. Devin Moran, we've got a new battle up front. Just when you thought this one was in the bag for BP 32.
36 laps, 4 to go. Let's see. That was 8/10 of a second. This time it's down to 7/10 of a second, but he's running out of time. 4 to go. Moran tries the bottom. It's going to be even closer. Oh, man, it's setting up to be a finish down the straightaway. 3 to go. Bobby Pierce and Devin Moran, and we got a battle at a turn 1.
Moran's good on the bottom in 1 and 2, James. That's where he goes, as he's got a nose on the inside of the 32, just when you thought this one was over. Now Pierce to the bottom. Moran going to try to ride the rail around the top. 2 to go here tonight.
Oh, the Barons Performance, 1 lap to go. It's going to be close. Moran will have the run out of turn number 2. Pierce has led it all the way into 3. The Barons Performance, 1 lap to go. They're trying trying to go side by side. 1 lap to go in Huset. Who's it going to be, Dustin Jarrett?
Bobby Pierce will try to roll the top again. Moran back down to the bottom. Pierce gets a good run off turn number 2 as they head down the back straightaway for the final time. Through 3 and 4, checkered flag in the air. Your Friday night winner at Houston's is going to be Bobby Pierce. Devin Moran second, third down to the line. Tim McCready gets by Dalton Wilson in the final quarter with Ricky Thornton Jr. fifth, Brandon Shepard sixth, Garrett Alberson seventh, Blair Nodorf eighth. Brendan Smith with his best career run with the Lucas Oil Series finishes ninth, and Hudson O'Neal rounds out the top 10, and that ended up being an entertaining final 5 laps here tonight. James, still one bit of business left to take care of.
And right now, unofficially, DJ, the Todd Steel Building's hard charger, Jonathan Davenport, up, 8 spots at the finish. And your Big River Steel podium, unofficially, Pierce, Moran, McCready. Coleman Farms' fastest lap of the race was Bobby Pierce, 13.056. MD3 most laps led was Pierce. The Willwood Breaks lucky 7th was Garrett Alberson. The Deathbridge Opticians lucky 13th, Max Blair. And again, the Todd Steel Building's hard charger, Jonathan Davenport. And that Wilson had third until that last lap, last corner. And McCready got around him. So we'll talk to those top 3. But Moran, boy, that stumble by Pearson, I know Ben will ask him about it, and that made it a race here towards the end. But Pierce comes home with a victory here tonight.
Devin Moran gained, I think, 1.2 seconds, 1.3 seconds on him that lap whenever Pierce had that stumble. And then it was a highly entertaining final 5 laps because Moran was starting to get a run on the inside. Pierce changed his line, and Moran would go to the opposite line that Pierce was running. So if he saw Pierce going to the bottom, Moran would try to roll the top, and if he saw Pierce going up high, Moran would try to hang that car low on the bottom. And Ben, it's official, Bobby Pierce is going to make it 2 in a row here tonight at Huset.
That's right. For the second night in a row, your VLAN feature winner is Bobby Pierce. 19th win of his career with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. His 22nd win overall. They'll hand him the Sunoco checkered flag down here at Lucas Oil Victory Lane. We'll talk to your Big River Steel podium top 3. Bobby Pierce, the 2019 Silver Dollar Nationals champion. Well, we know where he's going to be starting tomorrow night. As race fans, he climbs out of the car out of Oakwood, Illinois. How about it for your winner tonight, Bobby Pierce? Picking up $10,000 for the second straight night. As we said, his second Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series win at his many nights, and the second of the year, 19th of his career. And Bobby, you told me last night you were gassed at the end. What happened with 7 to go down in 3 and 4?
It woke me up, that's for sure. Yeah, I don't know. It was getting pretty choppy on entrance of 3, and I think I just bottomed out. And when it started, I couldn't get it back, and I was stuck up there for a second. I didn't think I was ever going to get out, and I never got the chance to look on the board to see who was second. I could tell it was a white car, and I finally realized at the end it was Devin, and I didn't know what he had on for tires, if he went hard in the right rear or what, but whatever he did, he was gaining on us for sure, and he was the best car at the end, so we got pretty lucky.
Last night we didn't have many cautions. Tonight, caution, red flag. How hard is it to get your momentum and your focus at a racetrack that's so elbows up when you get a caution every few laps?
It's tough. It's very tough because, when it's early in the race like that, you're counting the laps, and you're like, man, we still got much over halfway of this race to go, and I guess you start thinking probably too much, and I don't know. I felt more comfortable on the bottom tonight, and when I had to move up, I just didn't feel as good as last night. I don't know, so we'll have to work on it a little bit. That was too close for comfort right there, but huge shout out to my crew, all the fans. Yeah, I got a little fan base up here. Chant my name, shout out to them. All the sponsors on this thing, Low Voltage Solutions, Rigger and Waste Services, Mesquite Valley Transportation, Hoker Trucking, Performance Bodies, Toyota of Danville, Churchill Transport, Collins Brothers Towing, Fast One Speed Shop, Ted Brown, Carnegie, Longhorn Chassis, American Racing Wheels, Spud. Shout out to Spud, everything he does. And let's see who else we got. We got Bell Helmets, Outerwears, Hooker Harness, FK Rod Ends, All-Star, Ultra. That's one I never mentioned, is Ultra Shield seats and Sharp Advantage safety products and seat inserts. That's keeps me very comfortable in the race car, and I think comfortability goes a long way. So Bilstein shocks, VP Racing fuels, Longhorn chassis, Vic Race engines, Swiss springs, Pure Max racing oils, and everybody else.
Well, you've led 80 laps over 2 nights. Tomorrow night, you're going to be on the Victory Fuel pole because you're the high points guy. 80 laps from the pole. How daunting is that here?
Yeah, it's like I said yesterday. Forget who it was, but I was like, man, I'd like it to be 50 laps because every lap here feels like 3 laps on another racetrack because we're hustling pretty hard. And yeah, it's going to be a fun race. The track's been pretty fast, and I imagine it's going to be somewhat like that to start the race because it's twice the distance. So we'll see what we get, but awesome race car, and just very, very happy with it. And shout out to Abby watching at Eldora, Larry, Uncle Will, all my other family members, Sierra, everyone watching. It's cool.
Bobby Pierce does it again here tonight at Huset's. He picks up $10,000 as we'll slide down second on the Big River Steel podium, and the Big River Steel Double Down Motorsports 99. Devin, you're digging, and all of a sudden you see him just about park it in 3 and 4. Did you feel like you had any chance to get to him at that point?
I really didn't know how many laps were left. I was trying to look at the board, but things are happening so fast here, it's hard to see. But yeah, I felt like once I got to his back bumper, I had a shot. I could really run the bottom of 1 and 2 really, really good. And I gained on him, and then he went down to the bottom, and I messed up around the top there that lap, and I couldn't get a run. But all in all, the Double Down Motorsports Longhorn was awesome, and I want to thank Roger and Connor at home. I know Connor's back there, and Roger, and Robbie and Casey, and just good to get back on the podium tonight.
He was 4th last night, 2nd tonight. Devin Moran, he is 2nd on the Big River Steel podium. And we'll catch a word now with Tim McCready, 3rd on the Big River Steel podium here tonight. Tim, you battled for the lead early, and then at one point it looked like you might slide outside the top 5. What were you able to find late to get back to the 3rd position?
I just think we needed more racing. Been working on this car. Mark and the guys, Danny, Austin, Joel, they're every night we're trying things to make this thing in the track a little better. And the last probably 6 races, I feel like, and last night after I got out, I said, man, this thing feels as good as I've felt all year. So it's just, I tailor my stuff to run longer, and, we're having a yellow every 2 laps. So, and I just didn't know where to pick on restarts. One time you picked the top and didn't almost work, so I took the bottom. But all in all, everybody on this car, Valvoline, everybody that works on it, Siwert Calf Ranches, Ace Metal Works, Performance Grade, and it's a whole team effort with everybody. And obviously, I'm going to miss, I always say this, but Wheeler, everybody that's doing all this, obviously the shocks, Fox shocks, the Ford Motors from Andy Durham, and I haven't been here in a while. Ford Motors from Andy Durham and Rocket Chassis, Rocket One, driving for these guys is a pleasure. Petroff Towing and Franklin Enterprises and everybody, man. I promise you all that when we start winning, I'll remember everybody's name. I've been so stressed out trying to get up front and say hi to my wife Karen and Gavin Cambry. I love you guys. I miss you, and I can't wait to get home hopefully with some trophies.
Tim McCready, he won here in 22 with the Lucas Oil Series. Guys, he rounds out the Big River Steel podium here tonight.
All right, thanks a lot, Ben, and congratulations to the drivers on that Big River Steel podium. And let's go ahead and take a look at the Lucas Oil race recap, James, and see what got us to this point at the end of tonight's 40-lap, $10,000 to win main event.
Well, you got to go with Drake Troutman hard luck, right? What about the slickest move that last lap with McCready? We'll do that one. How about that?
Yeah.
You saw Owens there, got in the wall, Troutman, and then right there on the restart, the oil line knocked off of the car. Drake finished in 26th here tonight. And Bobby Pierce leads it wire to wire, but as they said, that we have the tangle back there with 4 cars there, but with 7 laps to go, he got hung up there on that berm and he couldn't get off of it. But what a battle for second on back.
It was.
And then Devin Moran gets around McCready and got around Big Perm. And then it was on in those final 7 laps, Dustin. 3 wide there at one point.
And that was 3 wide in the battle for the second spot. And right here, you're going to see Bobby Pierce get high, and you heard him say he couldn't wrestle that car up off the wall. Here comes a hard-charging Devin Moran, but it just wasn't enough. And Bobby Pierce goes wire to wire for the second straight night here at Huset Speedway. Well, that's a wrap on the Lucas Oil portion of the show. Before we turn it back over to Anthony Ainsley for the Malvern Bank West Series, Ben Shelton, your final thoughts on another entertaining night here at Huset's.
Well, Bobby Pierce is perfect back-to-back nights. He leads all 40 laps, but hey, tomorrow 80 laps. This is why we play the game, 53,000 on the line, and he's going to try to become a two-time champion. Huset's tomorrow night, the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. If you weren't here tonight, join us for this one.
All right, thanks a lot, Ben. As we'll be right back here joining you again tomorrow night for this one. Let's quickly take a look at a few of the upcoming events here one more time on Flow Racing. As you see them there on the left side of your screen, High Limit at Lernerville, Castrol, Flow Night in America at Fairbury, Indiana Sprint Week with our good friends from USAC. Brett Deo, short